Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and today we're checking out a vintage Framus guitar. This is a 1971 Sorento 6 hollow body. Let's check it out. Alright, so this is a guitar from my personal collection, and I was just doing inventory this year, and I'm just going to get rid of some guitars that I don't really play much anymore. I've also just recently got a new hollow body, so just getting rid of a couple, thinning the herd as they say. But this is an incredible guitar, and I've held on to it for many years for a reason, because it just plays great, sounds great, and it's in really nice condition. This is a 1971 Framus Sorento 6. So if you're not familiar with Framus, basically it's a German guitar making company. They used to do mandolins and violins and all sorts of stuff. Started in 1945, and they made guitars all the way up till the late 70s when they went bankrupt. And then they started up again in 1995. But these vintage old Framuses are great. They're usually super high quality, and just a lot of attention to detail and great craftsmanship and good materials. And this guitar is definitely all those things. It's got a laminate pressed mahogany top. It's also an arch top. You can see it's molded. And it's got a fake F-hole on here. That's to help with feedback when you're playing through a guitar amplifier. It's got really old school P90 style pickups. And we've got a roller bar for our bridge with just some grooves put in there. Surprisingly, this guitar intonates pretty well. It doesn't look like it should, but it really does. It's missing the trem bar, which is a shame because it looks like a pretty neat trem system. I've been looking for one on eBay for a while, but I just can't seem to find one. Then you got a three-way toggle, master volume, master tone, and it's got like a faux binding around the top. It looks like it's just painted on. You can see it's kind of worn in that spot there. And this is a bolt-on neck with a rosewood fingerboard and mother of pearl dot inlays. It's also got a metal nut, a 0 fret, and a string tree, or a string retainer rather, right there. So it's an interesting guitar. It's plays very nice and low with great action, which is one of the reasons why I kept it for so long, because it's an unbelievable playing guitar. The P90s sound great, and yeah, it's nice and light and comfortable. Let's have a look at the back. Then we've got, mahogany back, laminated, pressed as well. It's got a contour to it, as you can see in the light there. And this is stained where the top is kind of just a natural. And the neck is super interesting. This is actually like a multi-piece neck. You can see there's probably about 30 different pieces that make up this neck, and it's actually beechwood, which is something I've never seen on a guitar before. A little bit of worn through the finish here. You can see the stain kind of matches our body on the neck. And there's our bolt-on neck. I've never taken the neck off of this guitar, but we're going to do that today and see what's going on. I'm also going to use an endoscope and check out the inside, which I haven't done before. And yeah, there's a look at our serial number. You can tell what year it is by this part of the serial number here. So that's a 71. So yeah, this one is confirmed to be a 1971. And you know, it's a really old guitar. It's got a couple little wear marks and very small amount of dings and stuff here and there. But overall, just a really nice condition. Alright, let's get it on the bench and get some specs. Alright, super light guitar. It weighs in at 6 pounds, 5.4 ounces. And the P90s in the bridge position is reading a 7.81. Neck position, a 7.54. And in the middle, a 3.91. And our width of the nut is 1.66. And at the 12th fret, a 2.02. And our neck depth of the first fret is a 0.84. And at the 12th fret, a 0.927. Like I said, I've never had the neck off of this thing yet, so let's do it for science. Okay, so the neck does not seem to want to come off easily. I've given it some slight bumping, and the gap between the neck and the body does not seem to increase at all. So I'm not going to be violent with this thing. I'm probably going to leave it as is and leave that up to the imagination. It does look like it may be glued to the top too, so this might be a stranger kind of a neck joint that I'm not really familiar with. There are hybrid neck joints where they use bolts and glue, so it's a little easier to get the neck off using heat and stuff like that, but then you just lift it off the bolts and it's easier to do a neck reset. But it's not meant to be super easy to take off the neck just without, you know, removing the neck with heat. Alright, here's a look at our bridge. So it's basically a rounded bridge with saddle grooves put into it, and it's kind of like a little metal tube. Now, usually this would be a problem for intonation, but for some reason this guitar is very well intonated. It might be due to the fact that this bar is on a little bit of an angle. Anyway, regardless, it does intonate very well. And then you've got your little thumb wheels on the sides here to adjust your action. And then here's a look at the tremolo, which is a pretty cool system. But it's top mounted, it uses a spring. It's got another little roller bar here with grooves into it. And there's a little bar that goes into here and locks down. I haven't been able to find one of these bars. Occasionally they do pop up on eBay. And let's have a look at our pickups here. So yeah, this is our, it's got a little pencil mark in here with an N for neck. And yeah, it looks pretty heavy duty. Not much else to say. And then have a quick look at our cavity here. So yeah, you can see that this is a sandwich top, kind of like on an ES-235, but the top is mahogany. I'm not sure what that middle wood is, but it looks like the bottom is mahogany as well. So if it is like an ES-235, it's probably mahogany, poplar, mahogany sandwich. And then here's a look at our bridge pickup. And yeah, just the same thing, very similar. This one actually has a B penciled on there for bridge. And another look at our cavity here. So it looks like they got a big piece of maple running down from the neck through the body. And then also they have a larger piece which looks like mahogany in the back here underneath the tail, or underneath the bridge. But yeah, the routes look nice and clean, and we're gonna go in with the endoscope right away here. I just wanted to show the pick guard. So yeah, the pick guard's just kind of a thin plastic. It is contoured to the top of the body, so it fits on there really nicely without lifting at all. And there's these little foam pads where the screws go in to kind of protect the wood where it mounts to the body. And here you can see which is probably the original color, which is a little lighter than it has turned, probably due to, you know, sunlight reacting with the finish, that kind of a thing. But alright, let's go ahead and take an endoscope and see what's going on inside. Alright, going in with the endoscope through the pickup cavity here, and this is our base side. So yeah, nice and clean. You can see our sides there, and our mahogany top and our mahogany bottom. And yeah, no glue squeeze out or anything there. You can see, look, that is our heel block at the very end of the guitar. And then we're going to go in through the other side. So there's the other horn area. Again, looks nice and clean. There's our electronics. There's our three-way switch with the blue wires. And yeah, full-size pot there. Looks like they have a little bit of a mounting plate to the top of the wood. And all the wiring looks nice and clean. And then you can see our output jack there. And our ground wire coming from that back pickup area. I'm trying to get a better look at the neck, but it's basically just a big maple block. So yeah, everything looks good. Alright, let's take a look at the condition. There's our headstock with that multi-laminate beechwood neck, which is pretty cool. And there is our string retainer. The neck, or the headstock's in good shape, maybe a little bit worn around the edges in a few spots, but overall nice and clean. And then let's have a look at our truss rod here. It's got a single action Gibson style truss rod with lots of adjustability left. And there is our metal nut, looks like aluminum, with our 0 fret. There's a little bit of fret wear in this area here in the cowboy cord area, but this thing plays great, nice and low with no buzzing anywhere, so it's not an issue in terms of playability. And there's lots of fret life left. And then we've got a nice thick Brazilian rosewood fingerboard on this, which looks great. That Brazilian rosewood's very hard to find these days, and anything with Brazilian rosewood usually goes for big money, especially from Gibson. And yeah, let's have a look at the body. Again, in really nice shape, but you know, it's over 50 years old. There are a few little marks and dings here and there, but nothing egregious. Just honest kind of wear. One thing I noticed, it looks like the previous owner put a little pen mark where he liked his knobs, and I tried to clean that off, but it doesn't want to wipe away, and I don't want to damage the finish, so I just figured that's part of the guitar history. Just leave it. Doesn't bother me, but I'm sure you could get that off if you were persistent. And yeah, more of that faux binding kind of rubbing off in a few different areas. On the back, nice shape. Little bit of wear here near the output jack, and a little bit of buckle worming here. But again, overall, nice shape. This finish is kind of like a semi-gloss finish. It doesn't quite feel full gloss. It's kind of, you can feel like the grain of the wood. It's a very thin, kind of a satiny, semi-gloss kind of a finish. And there's our neck plate. Again, I think this neck joint is a little different than a standard bolt-on. I think there's a glue element to it, so it's not really meant to come off, but if you need to do a neck reset on it, it's a little bit easier than a fully glued in neck. And another look at our multi-laminate beechwood neck, which is cool. I'm sure this neck is very, very strong. Like a 3-piece maple neck is one of the strongest necks. So I'm assuming that, I don't know a lot about the properties of this wood, but putting this many together has got to make it strong. I haven't had to do a truss rod adjustment on this since I got it, so it's very, very stable. We've got our original open gear back machine heads. These are a little bit loose. You may want to replace these if you buy this guitar. I always kept it as is because they work fine enough. They maybe slip a little bit, but I wanted to keep this thing all original. So the tuners are just a little bit poor in my opinion. They work just fine. It stays in tune okay, but sometimes you can feel them slipping a little bit. So alright, so yeah, overall very nice condition. So yeah, the neck is very straight and the truss rod is set nice and tight. And you can see that there's just a very slight gap between the notch straight edge and the fingerboard. So yeah, nice tight set truss rod. And then in the 3rd fret area, you can see when I use the 3rd fret that the 1st string is almost right on that 1st fret. So it tells me that the truss rod's set tight, the neck is straight, and our 0 fret is right where it needs to be. Nice low action. And then on our 12th fret, we can see the action set very low, so we got a 1 millimeter at the low E and just about a 1 at the high E. I'm just going to run through the fingerboard to make sure there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. I like to speed up this part, but if you want to hear it in real time, just slow down the player to 25%. So yeah, very nice low action and no fretting out or buzzing anywhere. And the neck feels super smooth. I really like the profile. It's a little bit of a smaller neck. It's a little bit narrower, but it's got a little bit of chunk on the end, and there's no fret sprout at all. Feels super smooth. So yeah, it plays really nice. I forgot to do the neck profile earlier, so here it is. It's just a standard C shape neck. It does flatten out a little bit by the 12th. Just double checking the scale length on this guitar. So it's a 25.5-inch scale, and it has a 12-inch neck radius. So it's got kind of like a Fender scale length with a Gibson fret radius. And another interesting thing is the headstock angle. So it's actually a reverse headstock angle. It kind of angles up the other way. The opposite is like a Gibson. There's kind of a bit of a shelf here, and then it kind of angles up backwards. So it's a little interesting. That definitely changes the feel of the neck, of the tension of the strings. They feel super slinky and like easy to bend. Alright, let's go ahead and plug this in and see how it sounds. Alright, I'm going to plug into my 65 Bassman. I just got it back from the tech, so I've been using it a lot. I really love the way that it sounds, and it kind of matches the air of this guitar. So we're just going to go through everything clean and then with a little bit of overdrive. yeah, sounds great clean. A little bit dark in the neck position for me, but I really do like the bridge and that middle position a lot. And you can get a lot of use out of that neck pickup too, depending on your playing style and what kind of music you like. Alright, let's go ahead and try it with a little bit of distortion. Alright, final thoughts on the 1971 Framus Sorento 6 hollow body. Yeah, there's a reason this was in my collection for so long. This is a really, really great guitar, and I definitely wanted to make sure I documented it before it left my collection. But I've just got too many at the moment, and this one just doesn't get played enough. But it is a great guitar. Like, the neck on it feels great. It's a little bit thinner, but it's got a really nice kind of a meaty C. The pickups sound fantastic, like proper vintage old P90s. The guitar is super light. It plays really nice and low and easy to bend. And the string tension on this, because of the headstock, feels really, really slinky. Very, very easy to bend and to play. Only criticisms I have of it are the tuners. They slip a little bit. They're getting old. Probably need to be replaced. But I want to keep this all original. They work okay, but they're starting to slip a little bit. And the neck pickup is a little bit too dark for my taste. It gets a little bit muddy in my opinion. However, you can clean that up with your amp EQ as well. But yeah, overall, just a fantastic guitar and in really nice shape for being 50 years old. This also comes with a brand new hard shell case. If you're interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it up on the Reverb. But other than that, thank you for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'm going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.